All right, so just tell me your name, tell me about your practice, where it is, and kind of describe what it looked like before the mass and kind of the challenges you had when you went in on Monday. What were the feelings that you were having in the practice?
My name's Jennifer Fremgen. I am from Antioch, Illinois, which is far north suburb of Illinois. It's considered like the farthest north you can go and still be in Chicago. I purchased my clinic from the existing owner 4 years ago. And when I purchased the clinic, he basically said, at the time, believe it or not, I was part-time PT. I worked 3 days a week. My husband has like a corporate business background. And when I bought it, the owner basically said, hey, this is a great money-making opportunity. The clinic runs itself. You don't have to do anything but see 3 patients 3 days a week. Your husband can spend 4 hours a day doing accounting, and you'll make money and be able to open your coffee shop in Colorado.
Okay.
So when I took ownership 4 years ago, I did maintain the same staff. And I learned fairly quickly that the business doesn't run itself. At the same time, more corporate competitors came in, so the market changed. And I quickly realized we just didn't have any processes in place to deal with things. And every PT was doing things differently. Every front desk was doing things differently. And we were just kind of doing our job and leaving.
Okay.
So.
And what did that feel like? It seems like you were kind of told one thing, something else happened. How did that make you feel?
Honestly, it's still hard. I feel very taken advantage of, and that's a hard feeling to have. These people were my coworkers for 10 years, and that's very difficult to be someone's coworker, let alone someone who worked part-time. And then all of a sudden, I'm in this position of authority, and initially it was fine because everything, the wheels were turning, we were making money, we were seeing patients. But within a year, when things started going downward because of these competitors, and now I had to implement different ideas, different processes, different ways to improve our patient visits. Now I'm of that position of authority, if you want to call it that, and that didn't go real well. And I guess the hardest part for me is these were my friends at one time, and they were quickly no longer my friends. So that took some time.
Okay. So you decided to join the Mastermind. What was some of the main reasons why you decided to join?
So in late 2017, we hit ground zero. We got an SBA loan, so collateral. We would have lost everything if we kept going the direction we were going. So in 2018, we joined a group that helped us with marketing, and we implemented some changes, and they did work. I will say our patient visits went up. We got busier, but I had no structure. I had no process. I had now all these hats. I was seeing patients full time. I was trying to hire. I was trying to monitor patient visits, I wasn't using metrics. On top of that, I should say that I inherited a bonus system that was arbitrary. The past owner paid them their yearly salary, and he gave them a pretty substantial bonus, no strings attached. So in 2017, the year I said was bad, these people were expecting their bonuses, and I had no money. So I drained my personal accounts to give them bonuses. So fast forward 2018, we're getting all busy, and just things started to fall apart. And actually, that's when I met Chuck, even probably early 2018. I think from a common patient. I don't even know how I found Chuck. So I knew him for several months before he introduced me to the whole group.
Okay. And now you've been in the program for some months here. What are the biggest things that have had the biggest impact? Are the things that you've learned, things that were like, wow, I can't believe someone else knew that, and I didn't know that. Like I wish I'd have known this, when I first started out. That might have seemed like someone was keeping a secret from me. What are the main things there?
There's a lot. The biggest thing that comes to my mind is I made mention I was wearing so many hats, and I was working all the time. I went to bed thinking about work. I woke up thinking about work. It just consumed me. My husband still worked elsewhere, and so it consumed our personal time together. And the simplest trick I've learned or tool I've been given is to empower others in my clinic to do some of the things that I was trying to do. And I mean, I could go on and on with all the little things, but of everything, it was just me taking a step back and looking at the whole organization and empowering others to help me, which actually has in turn, they're better employees. They're more accountable. I think they enjoy their job more because PTs by nature, number one, they want to please. Number two, they want responsibility. They want tasks. And that was a big change for me actually 2 months ago, so very recently.
So does that feeling different now? Like when you first took over the practice, it was kind of like ownership, and then it was like us versus them was what we kind of say.
That is exactly what it was.
And so now it feels more like us.
It does feel more like us. I think what everyone is working on with me now, like the other very valuable piece is communication. When I went in with the marketing program, as they say, I went guns a-blazing. Okay, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this. And that's when I got tons of kickback, World War III. So our last mastermind event, I think it was, I almost went into it like, oh, we're going to talk about communication for a whole day. And I have to tell you, like that was changing for me because I can't lead if I'm just sitting there telling a bunch of people what to do and they don't know why we're doing it. And I've learned to communicate better. I still am learning. It's still a huge challenge. But yeah, so I don't even remember the question at this point. I think I just started talking.
That was great. So you've kind of talked about it a little bit, but what does it feel like now? Like when you go into work as compared to, 2 years ago when you first bought the practice and were going through the struggles, how does it feel differently for you when you walk into work?
I feel just recently, since the communication discussions and me implementing a lot of that, I do feel more respected. I'm still working on it, but I do think they hear me more now when I come to them with something. I am better at explaining why we're doing it, and I think they receive that better. I feel like the team is working more cohesively. I often walk in on my clinical director meeting with a couple other PTs. They actually just implemented a step-down program, and I knew nothing about it. So that's the biggest change I've seen. So.
And how has it impacted your personal life? You said before, you didn't have a lot of personal time, and your business tends to kind of soak all of that up. So has that changed at all?
It has changed a lot. We still have a lot of changes to make because my husband still works a lot. But that's part in his personality though. I'll be honest, I am not a workaholic. To be honest, I was perfectly content treating part-time and being with my kids. And I would say especially this summer, I have found much more balance. My anxiety levels come down. I actually sleep at night. I don't think about work constantly. I go on vacation. I mean, honestly, I went away for 2 weeks. And that's where I should say my greatest success has been. I can go away for 2 weeks now and not really blink an eyeball about it. The clinic is running smoothly. Even when I'm gone, they don't call me. I didn't get a phone call. And to be honest, I love vacation. I will work very, very hard, and you will check my Facebook, and I will be on vacation all the time, and I don't feel guilty about it because I love traveling. Yeah. And I can do that now. Yeah. So.
And before it was hard to do that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I remember the first vacation I took. I got a call. I saved money for this dream vacation where we brought all our kids on a cruise. It was supposed to be our Disney cruise, but it took us too long to save for it, so it wasn't Disney. This dream vacation, and we're like I don't even know where we were, like way far south, St. Martin or something. And I get this phone call that some woman had hurt herself on the Total Gym. Mm-hmm. And it ruined my trip. It literally ruined my trip. I was so stressed out. Now, that has not happened since I've taken recent vacations, but I can honestly say I don't think I'd get that phone call anymore. Yeah. So
that's because of the systems that you put in place to take care of that. Yeah.
So.
Great. So if someone is watching this and they're thinking, oh, I don't know if this mastermind is really going to work, or I don't know, I'm kind of on the fence, what would you tell them?
Well, I did tell them because I actually brought someone with me who was a recent addition because I ran into her in Colorado and she asked how I was doing and I told her all my successes, and she also is someone who wears 5 million hats and doesn't delegate, and she was talking about how she was sick and the whole place fell apart. Basically what I told her was what I've already said, is that you guys, you don't just talk to a group like we're a group. Groups I've been in the past, everyone's on the same playing field. We are not on the same playing field at all. None of us are. We probably have 20 different practices, run 20 different ways with 20 different metrics. And somehow you guys have managed to teach to the group, but given us enough personal time to talk about my business, because my business is so very different than the person next to me. I mean, I just spent 25 minutes with one of the instructors, Kevin, and he focused 100% on my business. And on top of that, I get it. I'm a very anxious person. I know that I can't hide that, but no one has made me feel bad about it. And for me, that's huge. Like he brought it down 20 notches and he took it one step at a time. I can say a lot of good things about Chuck too, because he lives close to me. So I talk to him all the time. And if I text him and say, I think I need a meeting this week just to talk about a few things, okay, what time? The one-to-one attention is a big difference. I just haven't seen that elsewhere.
And what does that feel like to be in a community of people that are all trying, like-minded, trying to get things done in their practice, and to be around other, not just the founders, but also other people that are kind of going through the same thing? What does that feel?
Yeah, that's big too, because when I started first doing all this, I felt very alone, very, very, very alone. For two reasons. One, I was a woman in a man's world, where I am. All the major business owners are all men where I am. Two, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So to be in this group is just invaluable, because they're all people like me. Some of them have their act together, and that's who my goal is to be. And then other of them, I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I do know what I'm talking about. And then I'm teaching them. Yeah. Which empowers me, because as you've mentioned, I don't always put myself in a position of, whatever the word I'm looking for is, but it empowers me to know, okay, I might know what I'm doing a little bit. I was able to just teach this person. Mm-hmm. So to be in that group is big. It's hard to get my coworkers to understand. I think they think I am part of a cult. But I'm like, you got to understand, this is 30 business owners who have all made mistakes. They've fixed the mistakes or not, and they've figured out the best route to take. So it's a versus just calling a marketing group and saying, okay, how do I market my business? Well, they're used to marketing a hamburger joint down the street. It's invaluable to be part of a group of private practice members who all have businesses like mine.
Yeah.
So.
Awesome. Good job.
Yeah, thanks.
That's really good.
Yeah, no problem.
All right.